a psychic that could give me some guidance on past life connection, and I came across Ivy just looking through Google. She had a number of classes that were available by download, so I think it was the Relationships, Boundaries, and Cord Cutting class. That was one of the first downloads that I purchased. And I also did Past Life, Karma, and Contracts, which gave me a lot of good information. So I thought, I have to go see this woman. So I went in for a reading, and she blew me away. You know, she knew what I needed to hear before I even said it. She gave me great insight into my current situation and really good direction. And then as I'm leaving, she handed me the flyer, and on there it was talking about the psychic mediumship development classes, and this isn't anything I had ever looked into before. So I thought, why not? So I came every week faithfully, and I didn't pay for the whole thing because I thought, if I can't do this, you know, so I just did it 1 week at a time, and I never missed a class, and I absolutely love it.
So what attracted me to Ivy's class were two things. The first thing is, so part of my background is, I lived in New Orleans till I was 5. My dad was born and raised down there. I have family from both sides of my mother's side and my father's side who lived in New Orleans. So ever since I was little, I always had a sense that we were not alone in this world, and that we share this world with other spirits, and that it just felt right, and there was just nothing foreign about it. And so as I got older, I started to realize that there were folks who I knew in person who would show up and send synchronicities in spirit, you know, after they had crossed over. So I knew that it was time. And the thing is, universe being as perfect as it is in terms of its order and the way that it does things, specifically with Ivy, you know, Ivy's name had been whispered to me for like over 3 years. I had a dear friend who we did some work down in Selma, Alabama, and before we left, it's so interesting, the first day we met, we both asked each other, are you an empath? Are you an empath? Are you an-" Like, we just had this moment. And he invited me to be a guinea pig on a day that he was taking, I believe, a tarot class. And I met Ivy, and I remember she was in the background because she was more allowing for the students to kind of like take up the space, and I just remembered her. She left an impression. And I also have been having tarot readings for the past 3 years as well. And a woman named Francesca, who I have known for a long time, we were talking about folks who are light workers and who are readers who she feels are authentic. And she talked about Ivy. And she said, Ivy Rivera, she's good. She's real. And the thing is, Francesca does not hand out compliments easily. So I knew that it came from an authentic place. So just the timing of it was just right. And with things that had happened in my own life, it just was time. So I'm really grateful for that.
So what attracted me to the class was actually it kept popping up on my Facebook wall for some reason. I'm not sure why, but I kept seeing like random posts, and I just checked out Ivy's page and saw what classes she offered, and I'm a Reiki healer as well, so this kind of stuff really interests me, and I wanted to broaden my abilities and expand and learn more. So yeah, I mean, I've learned so much. It's an incredible class. Yeah.
Was it mutual friends and that's how it popped up?
It could have been.
That's
yeah.
awesome.
I mean, I don't know.
Or it was spirit.
Spirit. It was
Yeah.
spirit. Yeah, it was my guides.
That's funny.
Yeah.
And I had a friend who had taken the class a while back, and she had recommended it to me. We talk a lot about dreams that we've had, and it just kind of got to a point that the dreams that I was having, there's only so much that you can look into a book to find out. And so she recommended the class to me, and then after considering it for a little bit, I decided to take the class to kind of explore that a little bit more and find out what things mean.
I had gotten a reading from Ivy, and it was my first reading, and I was like a wicked blank slate at that point. I didn't believe in the thing, and the stuff she said, like, it opened me way up. Like I had no idea. So, I had mentioned that I liked, dream interpretation and stuff, so I took the dreams class. And she's like, I think you should take the psychic mediumship class. And so I said, all right, very cool. So I took it, and the first class, you give a reading, and it's like I was closing my eyes and like seeing these things and saying them, and it blew my mind. So what drew me to that was through dream interpretation, and having gotten a reading from Ivy, and seeing that how someone could tap in like that, it was eye-opening. That reading changed my life.
My favorite topic, I think, had to do with relationships. It's always about relationships, and one of the big takeaways that I got right away was that our relationships are the key to our prosperity, and that was just everything for me.
My favorite topic was Meet Your Guides. That was my absolute favorite class, because I felt like the way that Ivy described the way that guides interact with us. First they nudge us a little bit, then they start to shake us a little bit, and then they basically like push us down the stairs. And it's just like, look, do you get it? And I always felt that sense of it, but her breaking it down that way was so, made so much sense. And it felt so real. And the thing is, and I loved Meet Your Angels as well, like Coffee with Your Angels. That was wonderful too, and it was great to get to know my angels. But getting to know my guides, my guides are the ones who every day, who steer me in the right direction, and who laugh at me when I'm like, being simple. And it was fantastic. Our guides are the ones that interact with us on the day-to-day, and her helping us to understand who they are and how they interact with us. That was a game changer for me.
Okay, so my favorite topic was Meet Your Guides class. It was incredible, and once I got to the point where I met my guides, I feel like I could connect a lot easier, and I really got in tune with myself and where I was at, and readings just started like flowing in after that, because I think I was so in tune with my guides. So it really helped me in this whole process open up more, was the Meet Your Guides.
And I really enjoyed the Hauntings, Clearings, and Attachments class, because I feel like so often everybody lumps everything paranormal into one category, and there's no separation to understand what each thing is. So I felt like the class broke down a lot of the things that you feel and see in life. That one I enjoyed the most as far as taking the class, but the one that resonated me most was the criminal investigations, because you learn a lot about yourself during the classes that you take during the curriculum, but you don't, because you're learning so many basics, and you're not yet at a place that you're applying them too strongly. That was the first class that I think we had that I really realized how strongly you can apply what you learn to something in real life to actually see an impact if you take enough time to explore it. So that one stuck with me pretty well.
I loved Meet Your Guides a real lot. I was having trouble myself getting in touch with them, and this class really helped, and it's something you can do every day. But other than that, I would say the thing that's helped me the most, the topic I like the most is just, I loved Symbol Day, or 2 days really, because that helped us to explain a lot, especially like I said, the dreams. So this was huge for me, and I liked it's the nerdery of it, just like the kind of the information dump of getting all this stuff, and then be like, yeah, more, tell me more. What's this thing mean? I want to know. Because when you're given a reading and you have a symbol and you don't know it yet, and then you find out and you're like, oh, and it's awesome. It's and it continues to grow. So I find that the most fascinating.
biggest takeaway, and it started even before the classes, I think it was my reading with Ivy, when she was telling me, your guides are stepping in here and they're talking about you. She said, I don't know what your belief system is, but when we think of God, we think of God, holding us up. And she said, but I don't see you in that energy. I feel like you have to hold everything up in your world. So it was just amazing for me to hear that I didn't have to carry everything, so it was, for me it was almost a doorway into my relationship with God.
How when not so great things happen to us in life, those not so great things help us to become empathic, and they help us to develop our empathic abilities. So just something else about me. So my mom has been sick since I was 4 years old. And she got sick when I was very young. And because of that, I know that I'm so clear about the fact that my ability to be able to kind of connect with folks and to be able to understand when they're not feeling well, that is a direct result of, being a baby and feeling my mom not feeling well. I also and I understand that I get fussy over folks when they're not feeling well. And that's because of having watched what she has gone through. Some of the byproduct of her not being well led to other things that she dealt with. And it helped me to understand people on a really deep level and how great people can become susceptible to some things that are not so great. And it makes us human, and that we're all vulnerable to it. And so it gives a level of compassion and a level of understanding that, we're all just trying to make it through.
Probably being able to do a 15-minute reading and not feel stuck. When I first started the class, I thought to myself there was no way I could ever do that, give a 15-minute reading, and now, with everything I've learned, it just comes kind of naturally to me, and I'm excited to keep doing it. Yeah.
Very good.
What I learned from the class? Is that the question?
Biggest takeaway.
I got wrapped up in her answer. I
So
really
good,
liked it.
yeah.
The biggest takeaway, I think, was to spend more time with myself and less time thinking out the details of everything. I always felt like I think and I think and I think until I've just wrapped everything up into a ball in my head. And this was to kind of calm yourself down on the inside and let yourself feel things out. Because they make more sense when you give yourself time. Another takeaway that I had was not to question how you feel all the time. Sometimes if you meet somebody or if something happens and you have an immediate feeling, you spend so much time thinking about what happened or thinking about how you feel that you start to second guess those first instincts. So I learned from the class to trust your instincts more because they're usually right.
I think that my biggest takeaway was it was a bigger, better understanding of myself, kind of what goes on, the things that I thought were bad thoughts or, me getting down, could have been, negative influences or just kind of understanding how everything is affecting me. That isn't me, I mean, some of it is me, but like outside influences, and how to listen and how to not listen to some of the bad ones, and a lot of it getting the messages that are really inspiring and stuff, and like taking certain small symbols and messages that from your guides or the deceased loved ones or angels even that they leave for you, and when you need them, and understanding them for what they are and using that. So that's been huge for me. Like, if there's a song, and then you hear it and then you know to listen or take it, and to appreciate things more. So that was the biggest for me, is that it's the growth that I got from it. I couldn't quantify. It's an amazing course, life changing. That's probably twice I said life changing in this That's it. If you, but it's been.
Anybody that is interested in doing this and they're a little bit afraid, I would say put fear aside. I never anticipated doing this. You know, I'm going, you know, I'm past 40, a few years past 40. So this wasn't anything that I hadn't expected to do. I just kind of stumbled upon it, and I absolutely love it. So take the first step. It's a great community. There's wonderful people here. You're not going to regret it. You're going to really enjoy yourself. You're going to help yourself learn and grow.
Remember that you having signed up for this course, you learning from Ivy, none of it is a coincidence. You didn't just happen up to be in the course. You didn't just tumble into this training. This training is a manifestation of not only what you were called to do, but your soul has been preparing for this for a long time. So moments when it might get difficult, remember that you were called to do this, and that I'm so excited for you to meet who you're going to be on the other side. You don't know who that is yet, but give it time. And she'll be there, or he'll be there, or they will be there, in whatever way that you are, that person will be waiting for you. Don't anticipate who that person will be, but you'll know. You'll see them. It'll be good.
So if you're interested in expanding your, your wisdom and learning more about your spirituality, it's just a wonderful course to open you up. I've learned so much these past couple months, and it's really just incredible. The relationship that I've built with myself, and with this class, it's really just amazing. I trust myself now. I trust my feelings.
Wisdom that I have for people. The wisdom that I would have would be to everything that you learn, listen to it and internalize it, but you don't have to accept it as your truth right away. You can give yourself time with it because everybody has a different truth. And so when you take that information that you learned in class and you let it sit with you, you find out how it applies best for you, because you can ask 1,000 questions, but your answer might be different. And you can't Google the answers to the unknown. So sometimes you want an answer to something and you want to ask a question and get a specific answer, but sometimes you actually have to just leave yourself with the question for a while and find the answer. So it'd be to just give yourself time with the information and let it meld into you instead of expecting everything to happen for you right away.
Anyone thinking of joining or taking the class, my advice is to take it. Just don't hesitate, do it. It's kind of like, I would say, for concerts, I say you regret every show you don't go to, every time you don't take this class, every semester of it that happens that you don't take, you'll regret it until you take it. It's like, seize the day, get the opportunity, take the opportunity, learn it, learn yourself, learn everything. You won't regret a second of it. Like, it's amazing. That's all I could say. I would say life-changing, but I already said it twice. But it is. It's life-changing. So just sign up. Sign up. That's it.